Hello and welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Benedict Lüning and I'm the master taster of Whisky.com, and this is Horst, my father, and he's the senior taster. And today we have another Glenmorangie. Yes, last video together was also a Glenmorangie 18. So we talked a lot about the distillery. I talked a little bit about the stills and stuff. And this time I would like to talk a little bit about sustainability. I think this case here, or the whole production of them, they had a look into sustainability, did more recycled material, and what was lighter or something?
They reduced the weight of the bottle about 12%. This is hefty. And I remember the former 18-year-old, which had a very thick bottom and a very bulgy bottle, and now I think this is more or less the standard bottle they have, and the bottom is lighter, and they have a
vortex,
vortex in the middle, and this avoids having this big glass in the bottom, so reducing glass. But from the outside, it looks as if the bottom is bigger.
And has a vortex.
Has a vortex.
And the other thing, what they also do, they have a project. I can't remember the name of the project. They have a project. I think it was with oysters. In front of the shores of Glenmorangie, that they are, I think they are like rebuilding the habitat again, and the population is already rising, and that is a really nice project for wildlife to make it better.
Yeah, so probably next time we have oysters with the whiskey at the distillery. Oh, no, never.
You need to protect the oysters. Yeah. I'm really not that fan of oysters. How did you say it?
No.
It's like...
It's what I would eat is oysters with cheese on it and grilled, but then you lose the oyster taste.
Yeah, but then
so
you
oyster
need something
to eat raw.
Yeah, the thing is, I had it twice, and no, yes, but no.
So Glenmorangie, we had the introduction to Glenmorangie just with the last video of the Glenmorangie Triple Cask Reserve. And they have the tallest pot stills in Scotland, which are gin stills originally, and they deliver very smooth and elegant whiskey, and the influence of the cask is therefore very intense. So the cask delivers more than natural, or than other whiskey distilleries have from the stills. So they are quite elegant, neutral spirit they produce in that with a light citrus note in it.
Yeah, they are one of these northern highland distilleries where you do have this citrus note as a kind of a subcategory of the highlands, and as the northern highlands they have kind of a similar style. It's people say it's because of the terrain. You said I think it was because of the people.
Of the people, and because they have the procedures, and the people moved from distillery to distillery, whoever paid more, and with them went the knowledge of the procedures, where to put the middle cut to, and how to process everything, how high to distill, to ferment the wash. So this is from the people. This is knowledge of the procedures, which
is strange, because today everybody's like, oh yeah, back in the times the whiskey was better, and
except the casks which were worse.
Except the casks which were worse is one discussion, and the other discussion is, I think back in the days, maybe before, like they say back in 70s the whiskey was better, but before days in like beginning of 1900, I think the consistency of the distillery was just not really there.
Up into the 80s, 90s, the consistency wasn't that good, and then they had.
But they had kind of a procedure in the 80s and 90s. I think back in the days it was just turn on the still and there's alcohol coming out,
more or less. And distillery manager knew, or warehouse managers knew where the good places were, where the cask matured, and they knew as well which were the good ones. So the good ones never left the distill and was used for personal purposes.
Yeah, the thing is, probably in recent times, last 20 years, quality control came up with a lot of stuff, and you have nosing panels at distilleries.
And regular tastings to figure out which casks aren't that good, not good for a longer maturation. And this one is 18 years of age in Glenmorangie. This is a very rare one. This is as well very expensive with 122 euros and 50 cents here in Central Europe. In other countries we deliver to inside Europe, the price might be a few euros higher due to alcohol taxes, which are different in the different states of the EC.
Yeah, alcohol duty and also VAT.
Yeah, and this whiskey was matured in 70% ex-bourbon casks, which is quite normal for Glenmorangie, and 30% ex-sherry casks, which they have as well. In the distillery, there's this La Santa sherry cask finishing, but this one, if I understand it right, is not a finishing, but it's a mixture of 70% in terms of liters from ex-bourbon casks and 30% of liters from ex-sherry casks.
Well, we talked about the ages of Glenmorangie becoming a bit older. Everything used to be in 12 years old. Back in the days, port and all these finishes were all 12 years old. And now they were getting more into 14-year-old territory. Was the distillery at some point closed or something? I think they were pretty much...
Not that I can think of, but the distillery was sold. And before the process of selling, every distillery sells out whiskey like hell because they want to increase revenues, because those merger and acquisition lawyers, attorneys,
they look at revenues. Revenues and earnings.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess maybe we can expect more older stuff from Glenmorangie, because they expanded. When was that? They had 10 pot stills and they expanded to 12 pot stills. I think you were there with 10 pot stills. When was that?
1996 probably.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was there 2018. So between there, they expanded.
I've been there twice, I have to say. Yeah. So time for a sniff. So this smells older than the typical Glenmorangie, with a spicy background, some deep sweetness, caramelized, a little bit of probably nuttiness, which is not difficult to say, and some fruity, floral, juicy on top. It's very complex and full. The longer you smell, the more you get.
I do like it. It's totally different from the typical cask. A lot older. You do have a bit of fruitiness. Yes, there's a little bit of that tropical fruitiness in there as well, but much more sophisticated, much more rounded off. It has 3% more ABV as the triple cask, but still a lot rounder. You don't feel it. It feels less alcohol-y. Almost no alcohol in the nose.
Yeah, it's 43%.
Yeah. And yes, you feel the Oloroso. It's a nice Oloroso with a nice fruity nose that works really well with that distillery character and the bourbon cask that also have a little bit of a citrus fruity note together with a fresh fruity note from the distillery. Then the dried fruitiness, the red fruitiness from the Oloroso cask. A little bit of dried fruits, nuttiness. So it's a nice fruity whiskey, I would say. But not overwhelmingly fruity.
And if you keep on talking, it's like Bill Lumsden, Dr. Bill, he finds everything after some time. It's very complex. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Very attacking your tongue, attacking your throat. This is spicy down to your throat and vanishing after some seconds, and now it's warm, full spiciness on your tongue. And when or during the reduction of the spiciness, then figs and dates and duck fruits shine through. But in the first swallowing, the spiciness appears as very, very dominant. And then it vanishes, and then the other aromas come through. So 18 years of age in those casks really deliver taste, really spices in it. There's no bitterness in it at all. So this is, I think, also the ex-sherry cask will be from American white oak and no European sherry casks in it, because they deliver a lot of bitterness and dark chocolate and coffee notes, which isn't there here.
I like it. Very, very well made. After I had it in my mouth quite some time, I do have a bit of that dark chocolate note, but a lot of fruit in there. When you get it in your mouth, nice fruitiness, fruits all around it, dried fruits. Very few tropical fruits of the typical Glenmorangie left. More of dried fruit, red fruit, potpourri of fruits, fruit jam. Typical Oloroso sherry. I would have expected a little bit less sherry with only 30% sherry.
Yeah.
It
probably,
for me,
probably they count casks and not liters.
Yeah.
No, typically they count liters.
Yeah, but it's strange. Yeah, the sherry. I think they have good sherry casks, so that's why the sherry just kicks in a little bit more. If you'd have a used sherry cask, that would feel much less. So I guess these are good, fresh from the Oloroso sherry. I like it. Yeah, it's Glenmorangie. And you said it's 122.50 at Whisky.com. So yeah, it varies a little bit. It might be a little bit more in Netherlands and Belgium. But for 18-year-old Glenmorangie, I would have expected much more.
Yeah, the last 18 years old, were called extra or something like that, extra. They had been at 118, I think.
Was it extra rare?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Something extra rare.
They had a 118 price on it, price tag on it, which was there a long time. So in former times, one of the most expensive 18-year-old, and now it's normal just to affordable for an 18-year-old. So there are still 18-year-old below 100, but they are counted.
Yeah, not that many. Yeah. So I would say good whiskey. If you like a really premium whiskey with a nice Oloroso sherry touch to it, then have a look at the Glenmorangie The Infinita, 18 years old, at Whisky.com. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.